welcome to the latest episode of Red Talk. It's been a little while since the last one, but hopefully we'll be weekly regular from now on. This week we're going to have a pre-season review and a season preview. Bit of a tongue twister there. We're also going to talk a bit about the Community Shield, great win there, and of course, as always, Wesley Sneijder. But the other regular segment we've got on the show is the quiz question, and this week it is.
This week the quiz question is, what club did Tom Cleverley sign to Manchester United from?
Rightio, think about that one and we'll answer that in the outro. United once again this pre-season took a trip over to the USA, over the Atlantic, and a very successful one in terms of results. What about performances though, Will?
Yeah, I thought a few of our young guys did particularly well. Makeda was particularly impressive over there, and obviously we saw De Gea and Phil Jones come over a bit late, but they seem to be coming along nicely.
I think it was everything we expected it to be. Really, we talked about it before it began, about it's a chance for the young players again to come through, and we saw that again with Makeda, capturing some form and scoring a couple of goals that people might not have been expecting after his disappointing loan spell.
Yeah, that's right, and you touched on the new signings. We also saw Ashley Young coming to the side for the first time, and we got a bit of an idea how Fergie intends to play him. He looks like he wants to definitely play him on the left wing. He played every game of the pre-season there, also the Community Shield, so obviously that's where Fergie thinks he's best suited at the moment. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think that's probably right. I mean, when you look at the left-hand side of the field for us, ever since Giggs sort of has gotten a bit older, he's been less and less inclined to play on the wing, and I think it's somewhere that we really needed a starting 11 player that can hold down that spot firmly. And then of course on the other side of the field we've got the likes of Nani and Valencia, and both of them really can do a bit of a job, Will, on the left hand side if need be.
Yeah, probably not Valencia really,
so
but
much,
definitely Nani. What about not trying Young in other different positions, experimenting a bit, Will? What do you think of that?
Well, I think if we if we happen to have a striker crisis, I know we've got 7 at the club, but
probably unlikely.
yeah, but if Fergie needs to change a game and maybe try a bit quicker, someone a bit quicker up there, Young can certainly, I think, go in there and do a job for us.
I think that's going to be his main attribute if he does be in that spot in behind the striker, or as a striker himself, his speed. And if we're looking to capitalise on maybe a slow defence, something that sometimes we do, I think that'll be the only case really where Young is involved in the game.
Yeah, what about though Fergie playing him in the same position for every one of the pre-season games, not trying him on the right or in behind the striker?
I think maybe that comes down to what I was touching on before about Valencia and Nani. I mean, we've got 2 players that really can play on that side, and we've got Park as well in the squad, and it's not something that foreseeably that he'll need. And I mean, he's got the faith in Young's talent. It's not that hard to switch from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, providing you've got a right foot. So I think that we're well covered now, whereas in previous seasons we haven't really been.
Definitely. So good results-wise, a bit of revenge on Barcelona.
Yeah, that was a nice one.
And so the pre-season wrapped up, and now we can get on with the real stuff.
Hello, my name's Danny, and you're watching Red Talk.
Right, now it's time for our weekly Wesley Sneijder segment on Red Talk. Developments are not really anything concrete at all, of course, as there hasn't been for the whole transfer window. No offers made whatsoever, but
he's opened his mouth for the first time.
The rumours continue. Yeah, he says he's had unofficial talks with United, whatever that means. So I suppose 2 questions. Firstly, will he join? And secondly, do we need him?
I think the Cleverley issue, with the Cleverley form, sort of raised a bit of a debate in terms of Sneijder, whether we need him, but I think we still do need him. We are sometimes a bit shallow in the middle of the park. If Fletcher stays ill, and Carrick is a bit injury prone at times, we've only really got 4 central midfielders at the club, I think, if I'm thinking correctly. And our 5th one, wouldn't go astray and just give us that cover. Because at the start of the season now, we probably don't need him. because we've got enough players. But as we enter more and more competitions, the Champions League picks up, FA Cup, League Cup, we're gonna need him, I think.
I think you've probably got 5 there. Carrick, Fletcher, Cleverley, Anderson, Giggs.
Oh, yeah, Giggs, sorry. Still hard to think of him as a central midfielder.
Yeah. Will, what do you think?
Well, I think any side would,
Yeah.
need Wesley Sneijder.
You're not going to get worse by having Wesley
No.
Sneijder in the team.
So I think we definitely do need him, and people like Cleverley and Anderson could learn a lot from him. So, do we need him? I guess we probably do. If not for his talent and for his experience, like I was saying, he can teach Cleverley and Anderson a few things as well. So I'd like to see him there.
So probably verdict. It would be a bonus if we got him, but we wouldn't be overly disappointed if he didn't come in.
Yeah, definitely.
Fair enough. Okay, so that's it for Sneijder talk.
Jeez, everyone's on Twitter these days, aren't they? Bunch of twits, I reckon.
Bunch of twits. They're very fine individuals. Did you not know the show's on Twitter?
What? Red Talk?
Yeah, you just head to look at Red Talk 1 and you'll see everything. It's got, as soon as something goes on our Facebook page, straight onto Twitter. So if you've got push notifications, all that thing, you'll find out straight away when we've got new stories, new episodes up, that kind of thing. So you should get onto it, mate.
Yeah, well, I suppose don't hesitate to send us a tweet.
That's a tweet, you twit. Yeah, look us up at Red Talk 1.
Now continuing with the pre-season, though not officially a pre-season friendly, it is described quite often as one. This one had a bit of bite to it, the Manchester Derby at Wembley for the Community Shield, and United coming out on top. And of course we all know that the last 4 Charity Shield winners have gone on to lift the Premier League trophy at the end of the season. But it was a brilliant game, wasn't it?
It was absolutely unbelievable. It was one of those United moments that has really happened over the last 5 years, where we come from behind and we win the game, and there's no real words to describe the feeling that you get when that winner goes in.
I think it was made a bit more unbelievable by the fact that it was actually against one of our title rivals for this season in City, and not only our title rivals, but obviously there are
Local rivals
as well. So it made it sort of all the more sweet, and we saw a few of our new players. De Gea was, I thought he was okay. He was probably a little bit at fault for the goal, but the second goal, I thought he could have got himself in a bit of a better position to stop the shot. But it was good to see those guys come in, and Ashley Young got an assist as well. So
I think Cleverley and Welbeck, and just the whole youth outfit with Chris Smalling starting at right back and Phil Jones coming on, and Johnny Evans coming on as well in the second half, as well as Raphael, it really just gave us something to look forward to the future. And we got so many examples of that, especially with that second goal. The one-touch passing between Cleverley, Rooney and Nani was just quite superb, really.
Yeah, no, a lot's been made, of course, about the average age of the squad in the starting 11, not the starting 11, the 11 in the second half being so low, down at 22 or something like that. Years of age, until Berbatov came on and bumped it up a year, the old fella. But as you say, great to see the youth doing so well, and also such a great performance against City. I think it's fair to say dominated the entire game. Couldn't quite believe we were 2-0 down at half time.
Well, Fergie said that in the final match interview.
That's right, and I think it's 63% possession overall, and this is with a side that's missing Giggs, Fletcher, Valencia.
Chicharito as well.
Yeah, possession-wise though in the midfield, missing those 3 players who are all in and about the starting lineup, definitely were last season and probably will be again. This is a really telling sign against City, who are pretty much full strength in midfield.
I think another factor that we have to look at is City's defensive prowess over the last season. A lot was said in the commentary in the game about City's ability to, when they score a goal, to shut up shop and really close out those 1-0 wins. And they were 2-0 up at half time, and with the commentators ringing that in our ears, we sort of feared the worst a lot, and especially the fact that it was the young players that did it for us. The tenacity for them to go out and attack so free-flowingly and obviously get those goals was pretty amazing. It's been talked about a lot in the press since.
Yeah, I think the main point is the spirit and the culture through the United team really shines through with these constant comeback victories and the wins in injury time. It's no fluke when it happens as often as it does, and that's
Yeah.
really a big part of it. Fergie being there so long, and that winning culture in the club is something the City haven't got yet. Something you can't buy. You can buy all the players, but you can't buy that
attitude,
that togetherness and that culture. Yeah, so that's really.
It's quite amazing that it's rubbed off on the players as quick as it has. When you think that the players, some of them have been away on loan for a year, and you think they might have lost some of that competitive edge playing for clubs like Wigan and Sunderland, who aren't expected to go quite as well as United. And it's just amazing. Ferguson's done it again with a new generation of stars.
And yeah, I certainly feel that way. I feel at the moment we've got, when you look at the class of '92 when we had Beckham and that coming through, you sort of feel like we've got it again now with Cleverley, Welbeck, players that can really turn games. And for me, when Cleverley came on, he really did change the game for us. I think his determination to, I heard someone say that, 2 years ago, he was actually nearly released by United, and now it looks like he's, going to have a big role to play in our midfield with Scholes retiring. And I think he's, just to have that determination to come back and really prove people wrong.
Yeah, it's been discussed a lot over the years about, when's the next lot of Fergie's fledglings going to come through. And, I mean, it's been said before, but I think this is the first time when really there's an even spread. We've got, we didn't so much always have defenders coming through at the same time as midfielders, and now we've got these great attacking players like Makeda and Welbeck. We've got the midfielders in Cleverley, and Anderson's still very young, but we've also got the defenders in Jones and Smalley and the De Silva twins, which is adding a new element to that youth setup that United's always had, that emphasis on bringing through youth.
Even goalkeepers as well.
Exactly, De Gea, yeah.
And also with the FA Youth Cup winning side from last season, they're all a bit younger, all 17, Ravel Morrisons and Will Keanes.
And Paul Pogba.
Paul Pogba as well, of course. So a few years down the track when they come in, and these current group of youngsters are sort of hitting their peak, it's going to be
We've almost got too much talent.
success for years to come. You can see it really being mapped out for the next decade, which is great to see. Now, in central midfield, that's been a real supposed problem area, something we've highlighted definitely on the show and been a bit concerned about. But that Anderson-Cleverley partnership in the second half, I thought it was absolutely superb. And against one of our main rivals in City, to have those two really very young players.
And you think about who they're up against. They're up against Nigel de Jong, who's one of the the toughest players in the game, and it'd be a quite daunting task for someone 20, 21, 23 years of age to come up against.
Exactly, and I thought they played really well. Obviously, we've talked about we dominated possession during the game, and we obviously weren't short of chances either, scoring 3 goals and maybe could have got 1 or 2 more. So definitely a very good partnership. Would you be happy with that duo going into the season?
If you'd have asked me that maybe 2 or 3 months ago, I probably would have said no. But after watching Cleverley in the pre-season and in particular against City, I really think he's a great player, and I think he's going to be a player that we can use time and time again for the next,
for the rest of his career, hopefully.
The next 10 years, he can. I think he can be. That's how
you look at some of the older souls in the team, like your Ferdinand and your Vidic and your Michael Carrick, and you start to you think that they'd be quite worried about their position, seeing the performance that happened.
The pressure's definitely on, and obviously that's a great thing for them, because now they really have to step up their game to stay in the side with all these great youngsters coming through.
And Cleverley, that highlights the fact that how well he's been playing he's been given an England call up as well, which he didn't get due to circumstances which we don't need to talk about, but that just shows how well he's playing, and I think that's all again comes down to his determination and the way that he goes about his business. Yeah.
I'm Andy, and you're watching Red Talk.
So moving on to the main season now, after wrapping up the pre-season preview. United start away in the Midlands against West Brom, a team that really had a terrific second half of the season when Roy Hodgson came in and ended up finishing 11th. Is this a bit of a tricky one, Will?
I think we'll take the game comfortably. I think we've shown enough in the pre-season and in the Community Shield to say that we'd roll West Brom pretty comfortably, and I think that we will. I hope we will, and I've got Wayne Rooney as my fantasy captain for that week, so hopefully he has a good game. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit of a tricky one on paper. I mean, it's an easy one on paper rather, but it could be a tricky one in actuality. But I think that Will's right. We do have the squad, and we should be expecting to beat West Brom away or at home, whichever one, anytime, any place really.
Yeah, I think it's an expected win, but maybe potentially tricky. But I think we will start out with a win. I think we need to probably with the other teams we play at the start of the season. Now moving on more generally with the title defence, what do you think of our prospects for defending, Will?
I'm pretty confident that we can defend our title. I mean, obviously, I think City will probably be our main threat. And they've signed a few good players, or a few good players in. I think they'll certainly be up there, but I think we'll make it number 20. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we'll easily win number 20 this year. A lot easier than other years actually, which might be a bit of a controversial call. But I think that we've done the business in the transfer market that we needed to do, and we're set up well. And I think history shows that when we spend money, we usually win the title the next year. And Fergie's no slouch with the chequebook. So.
Yeah, I think the squad really seems rejuvenated this season with all the young players coming through. It seems really fresh, and the average age is plummeted with all the retirements. So I think the squad is looking really good, very impressive in pre-season, and if you can carry on that form into the regular season, then I think can't see why not. I can't see us not defending really, especially with the other teams. I don't think they've strengthened sufficiently.
If you look at the squad from last year and you look at it from now, if you looked at it last year if you're looking at it last year, you'd be very happy with it. And you look at it now and you sort of can't believe that was what the squad was like. We're so young and fresh and rejuvenated, as you say. And last year, you look at some players like O'Shea, Brown, they're all getting old, and it's really good to see.
Yeah, that's right. Now the top four, the Champions League places. Who do you think is going to finish in the top 4 places this season? Then?
Oh, well, obviously United will hit number 1. I think pretty easily. I think City are going to be second, maybe. City, Chelsea. It's definitely out of those two, and then for 4th spot, I think it's going to be out of Arsenal and Liverpool.
Going to make a decision?
Okay, I'll go United, City, Chelsea, and Arsenal.
Righto, Will.
Yep, I'll go with United as number 1, City is number 2, number 3 I'll have Arsenal, and number 4 I'll have Chelsea.
Villas-Boas failure first season.
Yes.
Out the door, probably.
I'm going to go United 1. I'm going to go Chelsea 2. I think Villas-Boas is an excellent manager. I think he's going to do good things with them. City 3rd, and I'm going to unfortunately go for Liverpool coming in 4th. The other end of the table, not really anything to do with United, but it's that time of the year to come up with some predictions, so we might as well do those to make ourselves look silly at the end of the season.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Nick?
I think probably Wigan are going to go down. That's the one I'm most sure about. In terms of the other one, West Brom, I think might actually have a bit of there's a risk of the second season syndrome with them, and Wolves I think are the other one for me that teetering on the edge. They've made a few purchases of players that they had on loan, and Roger Johnson's joined them, which is good for them. But you buy a player from a relegated team, who's to say the same thing can't happen again?
Interesting choice. None of the promoted teams going down, according to Nick. Will, what do you think?
I disagree with Nick. I think I can't see Swansea staying up. I don't think they've. I think they've got to travel from Wales most weeks.
Could be a home advantage though.
Yeah, other side of the dice, everyone's going to go there.
True, but they've got to travel more than most. So I think they'll go down. I do agree with you on the Wigan thing, and I probably wouldn't mind seeing Wigan go down either, just quietly. And I think Wolves will stay up, but I think the other one will probably be QPR, as much as I don't want it to happen.
Swansea, by the way, rumoured to be signing David Trezeguet on a free transfer. So would that change your opinion?
Could do, yeah. Him and have they signed Jason Scotland yet?
I don't know.
No, they might have him and Jason up front.
We're not keeping tabs on Swansea as tight as we would like to be there.
I'm going to agree with both of you and go for Wigan. I think they're gone really. They've lost Charles and Zogbia.
They haven't made any signings really.
Yeah, they've lost Charles and Zogbia, who carried them for large portions of last season. Tom Cleverley as well. So I think they're really in quite a bit of trouble. As far as the others, not too sure. I think Blackburn could be in a bit of trouble. They haven't really done a lot so far that's really constructive to their side. Of course, they've lost Phil Jones. They could very well lose Chris Samba, so I think they could be in trouble. And like you said with Wigan, I really wouldn't mind if Blackburn got relegated.
Yeah.
The other one, I think probably one of the promoted sides is going to go down. I'm probably just going to throw it at the dartboard and go with Norwich. Probably, maybe not enough players with Premier League experience. Their argument is that they're hungry to prove themselves in the Premier League, but I think that experience might be telling at the end of the day. So there you are. Predictions in the bag. I'm sure the two Alexes will put theirs in, and then we'll come back at the end of the season and see how big idiots we really are. That's it for the season preview edition of Red Talk. One thing to clear up first, the quiz question, Will.
Yeah, the quiz question we asked earlier in the show was surrounded around Tom Cleverley, and what we wanted to know was which club did he play for before signing for United?
Nick?
Yeah, well, he switched to youth academies when he was 15 from Bradford. So, Yorkshireman.
Bit of a coup for Bradford to bring through a player of that quality. That's it for Red Talk. Good luck in the weekend, boys. I'm sure you're watching this as a match preview, so go out there and beat the Baggies, and we'll see you next week.
Rooney score.
I've been out all night.